Hello everyone, I'm Rinku Dhiman, working as an assistant professor in electrical engineering department at RP IIT Technical and Medical Campus, Karnal. So today we are going to discuss power system fault analysis. So the fault analysis is very important in power system for economical operation of our transmission lines. So we are going to discuss for different kind of faults in power systems. What are the origin of these faults in power systems or in transmission line, either in overhead transmission line or underground cables. Similarly, we discussed what are the impact of this fault on the power system parameters like voltage and current or different factors we will consider. So first of all, we must understand what is the need of fault analysis. So these are the main concern or main reasons why we need to fault analysis. The first one is your rapid information about the type and the location of the fault can assist the task of repair and maintenance, thereby minimizing the economic effect of power interruption. So it is very clear that if we know the type and location of the fault, so it will help to one or it will help to assist the task of repair and maintenance, so we can minimize the economic effect of power interruption. Secondly, high voltage transmission and distribution network are the backbone of modern power generation and distribution systems. Fault on the transmission system can lead to severe economic losses. So we always follow high voltage transmission and distribution network system, and we know that this is the main base of our generation and distribution system. So if there is any fault in the system, so it will maximize the economic losses. So we have to must analyze the fault in that case. Then third reason is that an analysis of system disturbance provide a wealth valuable information regarding power system phenomena and behavior of protection system. So it will also calculate the quality or behavior of the protection system. So protection system includes our circuit breakers, relays, and our isolator switches and all that. And finally, it will help to improve the reliability and availability of the system. So these are the main reasons why we should analyze about the faults. Now we will discuss now origin of fault. So that can be external or internal. So we discuss external origin of the fault basically. So external events that can cause short circuit faults are: one is your atmospheric causes. So in atmospheric cases we include like moisture. We can say that temperature rise in environment. So these can be the main causes of fault as on the basis of atmospheric. Then second is the thunderstorm and lightning. So we induce the voltage or direct strikes of the lightning on our transmission line that will increase the current, so there will can be a reason for the short circuit fault. Then third one is the wind. Snow can be also the reason for that. Ice and hoarfrost and earthquake is main reason, and etc. So we can consider as the main cause of fault occurrence on overhead lines. For example, we can say in some countries lightning event causes between 50 to 80% of fault on overhead transmission line. So this is a general estimate, like overhead transmission line main causes of fault are our lightnings, and that's around 50 to 80%. Then another reason for fault in as an external source can be to physical or mechanical causes. So for example, like our fire explosions, falling trees or tree limbs contacts, and flying objects that will also break down your wires and they get short circuit. Then third, we can say that physical contact by animals like birds, rodents, etc. Then physical accident also may be the reason of your faults, like vehicle hitting poles or contacting live equipments. And finally, unfortunately, people contacting to the live equipment may also cause your fault in the transmission line. Now we'll discuss the internal causes of our fault. Like internal fault definition, we can define like these faults can occur into electrical network without justification from any external cause or external interventions. So these include like the misoperation owing to an equipment failure or human error, like opening of an isolator switch on load. So if our load is running and if we immediately or suddenly we isolate the switches, then it will damage, it will cause the fault on our transmission lines. And maybe other reason include the human errors, DC earth faults, wrong relay settings, and hotspot, etc. So these are the internal fault causes of our transmission line. So the main reason we always consider for fault is the insulation failure. So in as we know, there are the two kind of transmission lines we always use, like underground cables or overhead transmission lines. So different line have different fault criterias. So insulation failure may be the one of reason for the fault. The one is your underground cables. So this is our earth surface and we have to put wire under the earth surface. So this is our cable, we can say. So the main reason of insulation failure can be like diggers, overloading, oil leakage, and aging. So these can be the main reason for our insulation failure in underground cables. In similarly in overhead transmission lines, like poles, we are connected with three-phase four-wire system basically. So these are the poles basically, and we are connected with three-phase lines. So the main reason in insulation failure in overhead transmission line include the lightning, trees, moisture, salts, birds, broken conductors, etc. So as we know that they can be the main reason for our overhead transmission line insulation failure. Then causes of disturbance in power system. So mainly due to disturbances, we always face some shunt fault, we can say. The shunt fault includes you phase to ground, phase to phase, or three phase fault, we can say that. So the most common fault is that phase to ground fault, we can say that, or we can also say line to ground fault. And generally about 80 to 85% of fault are phase to ground, and the rest of split between phase to phase or three phase fault, we can say that. So similarly on a single phase fault we always consider symmetrical fault, and unsymmetrical fault includes your three phase fault basically. Then shunt fault occurs in power systems when so we can say that shunt faults in a power system basically happen due to these reasons. One is your insulation failure. So insulation failure can be attributed to design defects, improper manufacturing, aging of the material used. So these can be the reason of your insulation failure. Second, the fault can also be due to electrical cases in initiated by the lightning strokes, switching surges, and over voltages stresses. And the third reason for shunt fault can be, in addition, faults can be due to mechanical failure caused by the high wind speed, snow or ice, or insulation contamination can be the reason for the shunt fault in a power system. And these can also be initiated by thermal stresses, and that may cause the overcurrent. So due to that, shunt fault will occur. And second last one with the fault can also be caused by, that is galloping conductor phenomena, where the different phase comes close to each other, arc over, and causing phase to phase fault basically. And the last reason is a natural reason, we can say that tree faults can be of high resistance or intermittent, causing the fault current will be variable or sometimes difficult to detect. So these are the main reason for shunt fault occur in a power system. Then we understand the fault statistics. So it includes the type of fault and what is the percentage of severity in occurring in power system transmission line. So we must understand the most of the fault in electrical utility system with a network of overhead line are that is phase to ground faults, resulting primarily from lightning induced transient high voltages, and also the falling trees and tree limbs contacts, we can say, as already discussed in the previous slide. So these are the faults severity in a power system, like our one phase to ground, or we can say the line to ground fault, that is 70 to 80% mostly fault are types of our line to ground fault. Again, double phase to ground fault, we can say that like phase to phase ground, that is the severity of 70 to 10%. And phase to phase, we can say short circuit fault, Okay, so that is 10 to 8%, and finally our three phase faults, that is 3 to 2%. So these are the severity of faults occurrence in the power systems. Now the next we can understand the classification of faults if we are with a single phase transmission line, and if we are going with our three phase transmission line. So then they can be the fault categories like these one. So these are our fault category basically. So we are here with three phase A, B and C, and one other is a ground terminal G. So if we consider this one, we are with three phase to ground fault basically. And like three phase we are already shorted A, B, C. So these are shorted, and again these three shorted lines are connected with our ground. So these R4 lines are shorted. So we can say that this is our three phase to ground fault, right? Similarly, again phase to phase fault we will consider. So phase to phase means our two phase will be short circuit. So like here A and B fault, A or B phase are our short circuit. So we can say that it is line to line, A to line, B line our short circuit. Similarly, B line and C line are short circuit. So we can say that it is a B to C, or we can say that again line to line fault. Similarly, A and C, so this is A phase and this is C phase. So these are also short circuit. This is again our phase to phase fault. Again, phase to ground fault we will consider like our A phase and ground terminal. If they are short circuit, then we can say that our A phase to ground fault. So line to ground fault, we can say that we are considering A line and G ground. So this is our A single phase to ground fault. Again, our single phase B is short circuit with our ground. So we can say that our again B line to ground fault. And similarly, say C is connected with our ground, so it is called C line to ground fault. Again, if two phase are short circuit and our ground terminal is connected with them, so it include our double line to ground fault. So we can understand like our A line and B lines, these are short circuit, so we can say the double line, and our ground is connected with that. So it is our A to B Z fault. So double line to ground fault. Double line we are considering A and B. Similarly we can say that our A and C, so A and C are connected, so this will be the fault. Okay, and B and C, so this is our next one fault, we can say that. And A and B we are concluding A and B, this is our next one fault. So these are our double line to ground faults. So this is all about the classification of faults. And finally, if we understand like three phase faults, in three phase faults, what are the parameters include, what will be the parameter changes during that fault condition, we will understand by these graphs. So we are here with a ground terminal, or we can say that the current through the ground terminal is like this, right? And in case of our three phase, like three phase current, we represent over here line 1, that is represented by IC current, line B that is represented by IB current, and line A we are represented by current IA. So when there is no fault, this is our no fault conditions basically. In a no fault condition, our current is almost constant from here to here. So we can say that in normal condition our current is flowing normally. So this is our normal current flowing, and at that time voltage per phase is also nominal. So this is V, our line voltage VC, and we can say that again VC. So similarly, if the current is constant, the voltage level is also constant in three phase. So this is constant, this is constant. Suddenly if there is a disturbance in the overhead transmission line, then if the disturbance is there, so maybe we can say that there is a three phase fault basically. So three phase fault can be three phase is like a short circuit and with the ground terminal. So three phase fault is there, and at that point of this fault our current will go increase, and it is going to increase unless we clear the fault. And at the same time, so you can see that current is going to increase in the C phase, similarly in B phase, similarly in A phase. And as that time, as per our current is increasing, the voltage got dip. So voltage is basically we can say that it is reduced. So we can say that there is a voltage dip between the two phase voltages. So it is again dip, dip and dip. So in three phase, during fault, current will increase and voltage got reduced. So that is our three phase fault, we can say. So these are the impact of fault on the voltage and current thing. So this is all about the fault in three phase system. So we can also represent on a single line diagram for these faults. So we can say that three phase fault is there, three phase to ground fault. So we are considering this A phase, B phase and C phase. So these A, B and including our A current IA, current IB and IC. So these are if these three phases are short circuit, then the all current flow through the ground, we can say that. So total current I plus B plus C is equal to 0 in that case. And we can say that these four and voltages will be our same in that case. So VA, B, VC both are three of them will be equals. And so this is our three phase fault basically, right? Already discussed this thing in a previous slide, what will be the impact of current in that case, right? So thank you. This is all about all about the power system faults. So it include our single phase or three phase fault. And stay tuned with us, more videos on power system. Thank you very much, and please like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.